Your only star sign is God. Now, of course, typically in the spiritual community, people like to categorize themselves into whatever star sign that they are, without realizing that the idea of star signs is still encapsulated within the illusion of this third dimensional realm. And most people, without realizing, descend themselves into the polarity, which is particularly an illusion that if you trap yourself in, you actually limit the capability of what you truly are beyond this third dimensional realm, beyond this physical vessel, which is God. Now, as you can see, our lovely boy is back again, standing on a star. I was mocked for this star drawing. I keep telling you niggas I am not an artist. Why the point is in between, yeah, no idea. You know what? Let's just write pause for this. He's saying pause because obviously this nigga can't talk. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly why your only star sign is God and how that actually has the capability to free you, not just from star signs themselves. Not saying there's anything particularly wrong with them, but what they represent, which is you doing something explicitly that esoterically within the Bible is not supposed to be done, which is worshipping false gods. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm neither a Bible banger, even though I've read the Bible, I've got a Quran, I've got a Torah, I've got a Bhagavad Gita, I've got a Talmud. I'm not anything. I'm simply somebody who studies the esoteric interconnectedness of all these particular religious systems in a way that actually has the capability to put you on a path to entering your desired reality. As I always say in every single video, till I die, spirituality without the ability to control your reality is vanity. And once I explain to you how your star sign is God, it's going to put you in a position to easily materialize your desired reality. You are my sun that only heaven can make. Oh, baby, everything that I have is yours. You will never go cold or hungry. People really sleep on Chris Brown, you know. I mean, not Chris Brown, sorry. Justin Bieber. He was really like that. Like, I'll never forget all you niggas that got S-curls and relaxed your hair because of him. Oh, that is hilarious. Now, there's something that I have to preface everything that I'm about to say. As you know, it's all about setting the foundations. The wood has to be laid first, no diddy. And it's not until I actually lay that wood hard, pause again, that it's actually going to give you the capability to build up to what I'm saying. Now, the first thing that you have to understand is this. God is the highest order in the universe. And it's not until we can actually pull apart what God is beyond the personification of this egotistical individual who sat in the sky dictating the cause of human events, because that's not really and truly what it is. So the first thing that you have to understand about God is a impersonal energy, which I know goes beyond what you've been taught to conceptualize God as, is this individual or this personality that has all of these different characteristics which kind of reflect the lower qualities and higher qualities of yourself, in case you've never realized. But beyond that, God is an impersonal energy. Think about God like electricity. Electricity is impersonal. It can shock the nicest of people and the meanest of people, depending upon your use of it. It's your misdirection of that energy. What often happens is that it's almost the equivalent to somebody misusing electricity, getting zapped, and then saying, God is punishing me. That's how humans have been able to give and personify God, which is nothing more than a reflection of our desire to understand ourselves. But understanding that God is an impersonal energy, God is consciousness, the highest level of consciousness. This is why religious people often refer to God as the Most High, but they never say the Most High what? And it's the Most High frequency. Now, for the mere fact that you are a microcosm of God, or a reflection of God. You have to understand where God exists. This is why esoterically in Corinthians it says you are the dwelling place, the temple in which the Spirit of God resides. Spirit in that particular historical context is also synonymous with what we today call consciousness. And consciousness is what your mind is made out of. It's what this entire world is made out of. Hence why in the Hermetic principles, the first law of the universe is mental, because there's nothing in this world that exists that wasn't first created within the mind. I need you to conceptualize the mind and matter both being one. Once again, people always say mind over matter. It's matter and mind are one. They're simply different degrees of the same energy. Think about steam and ice. You can't touch steam, you can't touch the mind or imagination. You can touch ice, you can touch matter. The only difference between these two energies, even though being one, their only difference is their rate of vibration. And their rate of vibration being altered allows for the materialization, which is what we call manifestation. Now, understanding that God is the highest order in the universe, God exists in you, in your mind. Hence why in John 10:34, Jesus said, "Is it not written in your law, I have said you are gods?" This is exactly what they got him for. And it's the understanding that each and every individual that you meet is the physical expression of God. Their only difference is their physical expression. That's what separates us. Understanding that God is your mind, then you have to understand how the mind works. Understanding how the mind works, specifically, your subconscious mind is the womb of reality. It births the concepts and ideas that are most emotionally charged into reality. In order for something to enter the subconscious, it's all to do with its, charge of emotions. And I need you to conceptualize like this. In the manifestation industry, they'll tell you that it's all repetition. These niggas will get you to repeat that you're rich 100 times in the mirror like a psychopath. And you get tired, nigga. And I know you also get tired of putting fake shit in your gratitude journal. None of that shit is working. What you have to understand is that in order for an idea to reach the subconscious mind, it simply needs emotional charge. And the example that I always give is somebody only has to go through trauma once for their mind to be completely re-altered. And it's the same thing. If you can generate enough emotional charge, then you won't need to consistently repeat yourself like a serial killer. Now, understanding this, God being in your mind being the womb of reality, then the highest order in the universe is God being your mind, which means the highest order in the universe is your mind. Because here's the thing about your mind puts you in your universe. And your own universe determines your world. And here's the thing. Not everybody lives in the same world. Two people can be side by side next to each other, but what differentiates them on a vibratory level is their frequency, and that frequency is the lens through which they see reality. And if my lens is tinted black and somebody else's is tinted green, then we're going to see two different things. And those two different things means that our perception is a particular way, and your perception equates to your projection into your reality, which is why once you change the way you look at life, life changes the way it looks at you. And it's all about altering your perception. Now, understanding that God is of highest order in the universe, then that would mean that any time you put anything except God, your mind, as the priority, as more importantly, and write this down, the causation or the causative factor, you've got the game entirely fucked up. And this is what a lot of us do. We begin to attribute the cause in our realities to anything other than our minds. Anything other than your mind is an effect, because anything that you experience within this third dimensional realm, you have to understand this physical plane is an effect. So by the time something good or bad happens to you, air quotes, understanding that they're nothing more than energetic polarities of each other, by the time something good or bad happens to you, the cause is already set in. You're experiencing an effect. But then you're so interconnected, you're so directly connected to your reality, your mind has associated action and result, that you attempt to change your reality without changing your mind. And anytime you attempt to change your reality without changing your mind, you're going to run into the same cycles. Think about people that are overweight. Their minds are unfit. They attempt to go to the gym. Them niggas can go to the gym 3-5 days a week. After a couple of weeks, they end up stopping and falling back into their old habits. Why? Because the causative factor, their mind, is still unfit, even though they're taking action to be fit. You can't outrun your mind. You can't outrun your frequency. That's a bar, write that down. Understanding this foundation, it actually sets in motion my explanation on why your only star sign is God. And apologies for the spiritual niggas. I know you niggas love talking about, oh, I can't date him, he's a Scorpio. Oh my God, oh my God. I'm sorry. Please don't come for me. Pause.
That's the last one.
The biggest spiritual robbery of the entire ages all comes down to this one word. The biggest blasphemy, by the way, not the religious blasphemy, but the actual blasphemy. I'm going to break this down to you. And it's one word. One word. And don't worry, before you're thinking, oh my God, why is he going to explain that my only star sign is God? Oh my God, I've only been trying to date guys or girls that are Scorpios. It's all right. You're going to get some. Just relax. Just relax. By the way, some girl commented Nero's the type to talk you through it. I had no idea what that meant. I went and asked one of my female friends, and you're a sick woman. You're a sick, sick woman. Anyways. Perfect. The one word that, what I call true blasphemy, all comes down to this one word. And anytime you do, and here's the thing, whether it's religious people, whether it's spiritual niggas, they all try to get you to do it without realizing they're playing the same game. A lot of spiritual people have got rid of their conscious programming of religion, but subconsciously and psychologically, they've gone from one box into another. And all, like I said, greatest spiritual robbery. Did you say it ahead of time, AJ? Ah, someone's been studying. People in the comments say that you don't deserve to be here, nigga. They said they want to replace you. To get a first class seat to my brain. Pause. That was, yeah.
I've got a first class seat to your brain. Yes.
Externalization. This one word is the true blasphemy. It is the true spiritual robbery of the entire ages. And the way you need to conceptualize externalization is any time, quite simply, you give power to anything other than yourself. Essentially, it is a misdirected importance with a failure to take into account the true hierarchy of it all. And I'll give you an example. Let's take church, for example. Esoterically in the Bible, it says the temple or the church of God was not made with hands. Yet, every Sunday, niggas across the world will change how they talk, change how they dress for an hour or two. Hello, Sister Joy, how are you? Oh, hello, neighbor, hello, neighbor. And give more importance to a building that was made by hands instead of the temple of God, which was not made with hands. People will externalize and project more importance onto a building that can be washed away by acid rain instead of actually projecting importance to the true temple of God, which is up here, which is why the world is in a state as it is. Imagine if people had as much care and as much thought for how they conduct themselves in church as they would for the way that they conduct themselves in their mind. They walk in that church and it's all heaven for niggas, but in their minds it's hell. And it's because they've externalized their importance onto something without realizing the true essence of what it is. Take Christ. The concept of Christ, once again, has been externalized. How can you be a Christian if you don't become Christ? People are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Well, go to Philippians chapter 2, 5 to 11. Let this mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus, who in the form of God did not find it robbery to be equal with God. That's what it says in there, but the church will never show you that. And you can look this up. I'm not one of them spiritual niggas that will be like, listen, don't eat bottled, don't drink bottled water. Don't even look that up. Beds, don't sleep on beds. Don't even look that up. There's no point. That's what a lot of these spiritual niggas do. They tell people not to look stuff up. And it's because they don't know what they're talking about. But luckily, through the time that I've spent accumulating this knowledge, I talk a lot of shit because I can back it, as Pressa said. Great song. Now, understanding this doesn't just extend down to a particular religious sense, because this is the most obvious sense. A lot of spiritual niggas do this. They externalize it into crystals. These niggas will rub their crystals like a genie in a lamp and prioritize their crystals and think it's all about their crystals. But for the topic of what we're discussing right here, they also do it with star signs. And write this down. Anytime you place anything over the highest order in the universe, which is God, you are bowing to esoterically what in Exodus was called false gods. Anytime you give something the capability to determine the direction of your reality, best believe, nigga, you're cooked, buddy. You're cooked. And I'll show you what I mean. You're gonna get some, just relax. So, let's take this topic of star signs. Let's take the topic of it. Let's pick it apart. Now, bear in mind, and I know I'm talking to the ladies when I say this, I am not saying it's not real. What I'm saying is it becomes more real if your mind accepts that it's real. I'll explain. Understand this. So, in fact, I want you to think about it like this. So astrology as we know it is the subjective interpretation based upon the placements of things in the solar system, so on and so forth. Now here's the thing. A lot of people allow star signs to define them. But one thing that I want to make clear is God made I put star signs. God made stars. They could never define God. That's a bar. Write that down. Now, of course, once again, I'm not saying, and one of my friends is heavily into astrology. I know she's watching this, so I'm sorry to make this my sister. But one thing that you have to understand is this. I'm not saying there's no truth in star signs, but if we're going to understand that the highest order in the universe, so much so that it was the first law in the Hermetic principles, which is originally the law of attraction before the law of attraction, the law of attraction before the law of assumption, the first laws that humanity was ever given down to a point of interpretation, the Hermetic principles. Go get yourself the Kabbalion. The first law of the universe is the universe is entirely mental, referring to the idea that the all is mind and mind is all. We not only exist in the mind of God, but we create in our reality. The highest order of precedence is our mind. If the highest precedence of order in your mind is reality, then that would mean any time that you give something else the capability to define your reality, you have misplaced yourself in the hierarchy of it all. Now here's the thing, like I said, I'm not saying there's no truth in star signs. I'm not saying it's fake. I'm not saying that, your notification that you shouldn't go outside today because something bad is going to happen. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. What I'm saying is, it is true if your mind accepts it. Because The thing about the word truth or true is that the only truth in reality is anything that your subconscious mind accepts as truth. There is no truth in reality other than what the subconscious mind accepts as truth. So if your subconscious mind accepts the truth that because you were born on this day, at this time, in this place, now you've been forecasted a bad day, now you have to experience a bad day. If your mind accepts that as truth, then it will be materialized into your reality as true. And it's that simple. Now here's the thing, and we can look at this on a wider scale. I'm about to get into something that is quite advanced in the realm of the esoteric, so just stay with me now. So, like I just said, let's take the concept of what star signs essentially offer, a star sign reading. Essentially, it's a prophecy, right? It's a prophecy of not necessarily reading something that is just to come, pause, but something that is already coming. Pause again, goodness me. That was a lot. Pause again, yeesh. Now, like I said, let's take the word prophecy, because this is something that can be extrapolated outside the realm of star signs. And remember, even though the topic in this particular video is star signs, it can be extrapolated to anything that is particularly externalized. So whether you want to go to a judge man and have them read your thing, if that's what some of you niggas are on, or if you want to go to a psychic who, you know, is like, whatever it is, it's all the same thing. They're all variations of the exact same thing. Now, like I was saying, essentially what we're looking at here is a form of prophecy. Now, here's the thing. I want you to understand this concept because it's quite complex in the realm of the esoteric. Now, if one person has the capability to shift and manifest or alter their reality with their mind, imagine a collective. The collective itself has a consciousness. If you can unify the minds of multiple people at once, you have the capability of creating what is considered an egregore or a watcher. Essentially, a simple form of saying what I'm saying is, if multiple people's minds are unified in one particular belief, if one person on an individualistic level has the ability to alter their reality, the collective has the ability to alter reality collectively. And create reality by almost birthing entities into existence. Now, I'll let you guys guess my star sign. Supposedly, my friend says I'm a typical whatever my star sign is. But if we look at star signs as the collective experience, the collective accepted idea, if multiple people all believe one thing, then you give birth now to an entity. That entity has the capability to enter each and everybody's life on a individualistic level, now making somebody, not for the mere fact that it's these particular positions in the solar system, but for the mere fact that as human beings, the universe being mental, we've created an entity mentally, an egregore, which now then only alters our own behavior. And once again, this is on a collective level. This is on a collective level. So what if it's not necessarily about the placements in the solar system? What if it's for the idea that so many people, millions, maybe even billions of people, because there's multiple variations of astrology. There's Chinese, there's Vedic, so on and so forth. There's different systems, right? Which is an issue in of itself. Because if this system says that this is your sign, and this system says this is your sign, and this system says this is your sign, then which one do you choose? Or are you going to look at all of them and just be all of them, nigga? Why be all of them without realizing that you can place yourself above all of them and be God? And I'm going to break this down to you because esoterically, once again, it's in the Bible. Now, as I was saying, prophecy on a collective level, but let's say prophecy. Let's say you go to somebody and you decide you want to get a reading. If you niggas want a reading from me, I'll happily give you one. In fact, I'll give you a reading right now. Here's your reading, free of charge. You're only paying with your attention. I paid attention, so attention paid me. Shout out to Lil Wayne. But just here it is. Here, if you want prophecy, here's the prophecy. That is prophecy. Anything that your subconscious mind accepts, that's prophecy, nigga. That's it. You can predict somebody's life. I can predict somebody's life if I just know the contents of their subconscious mind. And people tell me they're afraid to come around me. I've heard this before because they feel like I'll be able to read them, and I do. If I know small things about you and I can guess the potentialities of what may exist in your subconscious mind, I can probably guess what's happening in your life. And I've done it so many times that people are shocked, so I just don't say anything anymore. And it's for the mere understanding that whatever's in your subconscious mind will be the truth in your reality. Whatever's in the subconscious will be manifested into reality. So here's the thing. If somebody goes to a particular psychic and they say, yeah, these next couple of months are going to be hard for you. Yeah, pause. They're going to be, it's going to be terrible. You're just going to be, pause on that too. It's just going to be terrible. And then you're so distressed. You're so scared. You're so worried. There's so much anxiety caused by that particular statement that you emotionally charge yourself. That emotional charge enters the subconscious mind. And guess what? The next couple of months, tough as fuck. And then you look back and you're like, that psychic sure was right. That reading was right. No. The prophecy is whatever's within your subconscious mind. How many people have you allowed to be a prophet over your life without you even realizing? I had a teacher. I'm not going to say his name. A maths teacher. And I always, as you niggas can see, I always make jokes. So I must be making he must have got corrected by like this student that just came from India at the time, so his level of maths was like ahead of us. And I must have made a joke, and he was like, that's my name. He was like, you're gonna be outside a train station saying, do you have any change? That's what he said to me. I was distressed because I was like, how the hell did this guy just say it? How the hell did this nigga just say that to me? But here's the thing. A lot of people would allow that idea to become a truth in their reality. Whether it's a parent, whether it's a friend, whether it's a guardian, whether it's a teacher. How many people have you allowed to determine what your life will become? If your subconscious mind accepts it, then it will be there. And that's the case for most people without even realizing. And this is the truest definition of prophecy. It's not necessarily that an idea is, well, there's two versions. Of course, there's the collective manifestations of things that were written. So people will be like, oh my God, this was in the Bible, this was in this book. How is it happening? It has to be true. No, niggas. We're just collectively manifesting it because millions and billions of people across the world are all in synchronicity in terms of a particular belief. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm sorry to let you down. We're not in the end times, nigga. I'm sorry. Now, as I was saying, this is prophecy. So I'll never forget, I was talking to this girl and she was telling me how she's going on dates, so on and so forth. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I must have spoken to her a couple of days later. I was like, how did the dates go? She was like, oh, well, before I went on the dates, I just done a quick, astrology reading, and they said that the dates weren't going to go well. Do I need to spell this out for you niggas? Is it that the astrological reading was correct? Or is it that her subconscious mind accepted that idea? And because it accepted that idea, it manifested it. You tell me. And this can be extrapolated across multiple different instances. And how much longer are you going to allow somebody to prophesy something in your reality that is negative? Because for the mere fact, if somebody's prophecy, I don't give a fuck if it's astrology. I don't care if it's a psychic. I don't care if it's a judge man. I don't care if it's an obia man. I don't care. If somebody's particular prophecy or reading of your life is negative and your mind accepts that, how does that serve you? And we see this on a global scale. I mean, look at the statistics when it comes down to how the news spreads particular statistics. Black boys are more than likely to go to jail, get stabbed, so on and so forth, and all of this and all of that. You don't think that's a form of prophecy? You don't think that's a collective manifestation? And this is how the game is played at a top-down level. Why would I need to come and whip you into shape when I can whip you in your mind so you whip yourself, and then when it happens, you're like, oh, I knew it was right. That's the truth. This is the game. At a top-down level. Now, like I was explaining earlier, one thing that I like to preface this by, and it's very important that you understand this. It's 7 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. I ain't got no nigga, and no nigga ain't got me. I'm about to show them. I can't say that because that's crazy. These niggas love free. Hey! Cool. Here's the thing. As I was mentioning earlier, based upon the different particular interpretations and systems of astrology having to play catch up with each and every single one of them, here's the thing. Astrology differs based on location. But guess what? Guess what, nigga? But you are God everywhere. That's a bar, write that down. It does. Some systems you're this, some systems you're that, but guess what? On a metaphysical level, the truest essence of your being, beyond the material illusions that the third dimensional realm offers, on a metaphysical level, on the highest level of truths, beyond all these lies that our eyes tell, you're God. So why not just be God everywhere? Now, as I told you, it gets deeper. Pause again. It gets real deep. And let me tell you why. So, of course, there's 12 zodiacs. Do I know each and every single one? No, nigga, what do I look like? But here's the thing. There's 12 zodiacs. When you realize it, they all represent aspects of particular qualities and characteristics that are within us. These characteristics and qualities, more often than not, are associated with the lower portion of ourselves. More often than not. More often than not. I like to preface it with that. They're representative of characteristics within you. But here's the thing. The 12 zodiacs are nothing more than a reflection of the 12 disciples. The word disciples, of course, comes from the word discipline, because there are 12 individuals in the Bible that Christ had to discipline. Discipline, understanding that when the 12 disciples of the 12 aspects, or 12 people that represent different characteristics, which are all kind of, I guess, which all possess the potentiality to make you descend into the illusion of reality and become stuck by the stress of worries and bills and so on and so forth. Everything that you're trying to move away from your unwanted reality to your desired reality. Once you understand that the 12 disciples are the 12 disciplines to which have the capability to follow Christ, which is also an aspect of you, then you come to realize things. It's quite very interesting, don't you think? I think so. And think about it like this. So, let's look at a couple. Now, I'm not going to go through Bartholomew and all of those guys. I'm just going to go with the main people that people are aware of when it comes to this. Let's take Peter. Peter is known as the Rock because he became unmovable. Peter had to discipline an aspect of himself that was tied to the illusion of reality, which is his hearing. Once he disciplined his hearing, he was able to become a disciple. He was able to follow Christ, which once you understand that Christ etymologically comes from two particular places. It comes from the Hindu tradition of the word Krishna, K-R-S for Krishna, or the etymological origins of the ancient Egyptian or Kemetic word K-R-S-T, Christ, which meant the anointed one, which is why they said Jesus was the anointed one. But Jesus wasn't the first anointed one. There were 16 Christs before Jesus. Once again, look this up yourself. But understanding that either way, if it came from Krishna or the ancient Egyptian, their meanings are very, very similar. It was a title of spiritual mastery, somebody who had risen above the third dimensional illusions that reality presents, such as us being separate individuals. As much as AJ is sitting there and I'm stood up here, we're one. He's in me, I'm in him, pause. And both of us being one is exactly why Christ gave the golden rule of treat others as you'd want to be treated, because they are you. That's because they are you, and that's because beyond this illusion, we are all one. Sorry for that, AJ. I don't think he's accepting my apology. But anyways, like I was saying, understanding that Christ is the highest nature, a spiritual title of mastery, then understanding that when Peter had the capability to discipline his hearing, because hearing, anything to do with the five physical senses, is in this realm, this third dimensional realm. You only see 0.0035% of this third dimensional realm due to the fact that visible light, which is exactly what allows you to see, bounces off surfaces, enters your eyes. It's called refraction. That light enters your eyes send electrical signals up to the brain processes an image. You are guesstimating what you're seeing on reality, and reality is often an illusion. This is why in Corinthians it also says, be absent from the body and present with the Lord. Absent from the body, absent from the illusions of the things you can see or hear. Because if you hear something that suggests your unwanted reality, if you see something that suggests your unwanted reality, and you allow that to define you, you've fallen for the illusion. And here's the thing, it's not just Peter, there's other people. So let's say John. Pause, I'm on my knees. John is known for righteous judgment. This is why in the Bible, once again, if you go to the book of John, esoterically, it says, don't judge by appearance. Don't judge based on what you see because it's an illusion. Judge by righteous judgment, which is the conceptualization of your desired reality already being something here. When it comes to manifestation, the truth is you're not creating reality. The truth is you're making what is invisible visible by becoming the vibrational alignment to your desired reality. Stop focusing on trying to manifest. Focusing on manifesting means that you're not aligned to what you are. How do I know if I'm aligned to what I am, Nero? Relax, you're going to get some. You know you're aligned to what you are if you're good with it and you're good without it. And you can only be good with it and good without it if internally you shifted to a degree to which you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change. That's a bar. Write all of that stuff down. Now, Andrew had to pattern his sight. By the way, for my American people, when I say pattern in the UK, that's like get together. He had to pattern his sight because he was allowing his sight to determine what he was seeing. As you can see, when all of these disciples were able to pattern themselves and get themselves together, they were then and only then able to follow the Christ. And once again, this is the same thing. Whatever your zodiac is, you actually need to be able to transcend yourself above all of them. Which is why most of the zodiacs, if I'm not mistaken, are all animals. Animals. What's the devil known as in the Bible? The beast. The mark of the beast is in the head. Specifically reflective of the basal ganglia, the reptilian part of your brain. The reptile, the animal, that is only concerned with surviving. When you're in a state of survival, you shut down the capability to rise your consciousness up to a higher level. I say all of this to say, when it comes to star signs, prophecies, understand that the only prophecy is whatever you can get your subconscious mind to accept. How do I get my subconscious mind to accept other ideas, Nero, and all these things for my desired reality? Luckily for you, I have plenty of videos giving you that. Now, yeah,